Hello friends, Wizards, Witches and Muggles. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Today, I thought we would do something a little bit different. We are doing a Q&A. I am gonna A your Qs, but this time I specifically asked you to ask me questions about my job, my work, my business, what I do for a career. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, because I know that my job isn't a usual one, and I know that a lot of people ask me questions a lot, so I thought I'd do a video about it. So if you'd like to know more about what I do, how I do it, how I do all the things, then keep on watching. And if you're brand new to my channel, hello, welcome. Don't forget you can click the subscribe button if you'd like to become part of our weird, magical online family. But let's go, because I have all the questions. Okay then, I'm actually really excited about this video because you asked some really interesting questions, a lot that I've never been asked before, especially in Q&As, so let's go. The first question is, how can you not be nervous filming a video? So I've been doing this for around 7 to 8 years, which makes me feel a little bit weird, a bit old. So when I'm in my studio and my kind of place of comfort and my home, I don't feel nervous because, well, it's a safe space. And I don't think I really got nervous when I began either, because it was just me on my own. So there wasn't really anything to be nervous about, but that's not saying that I do not get nervous at any point throughout my career, if that makes sense. So when I do live talking, I am terrified. I remember when I did a live broadcast at the Warner Brothers Studio Tour in London with Warwick Davis, I was so anxious, so nervous. I felt so unwell prior, but I did it, I smashed it. Yeah, anything to do with live talking, I still get nervous, and I think it's really healthy to be so. Have you ever felt forced to like a product on camera because it was sent to you for free? And free products is something that we will definitely talk about later on in this video. But no, whether a product is sent to me for free or whether I have purchased, you guys will always get my full honest opinion, because that is what I'm here for. I'm not here to lie to you guys. I'm going to talk about the product. I'm going to give you my full thoughts around it. So no, that doesn't really come into it, whether it's been given to me for free or not. Someone asked, do you do your own bookkeeping? And the answer to that, for the most part, is no. I have my own accountant, and they pretty much handle everything to do with taxes and that. And basically, I'm a limited company now, so it's money is scary. But I'm definitely learning along the way. Like, this was never planned to be my career, so I definitely have people to help me with things, especially finances, because they terrify me, and I've never really been good at that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have someone to do my bookkeeping, but I help them as much as I can, so with my receipts and that kind of thing, and it's kind of boring, but yes, I have an accountant. Do you have enough free time? So the answer to that is probably not. I definitely don't take, or I definitely didn't, especially last year, I didn't take enough time out for myself, nor did cameraman Chris, but it's definitely something that we're going to be working on. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to be more conscious to take more free time this year to do things for myself and have more self-care, because it's really easy when you're self-employed to just work, because you don't have anyone to tell you to stop or take a break. But it's been quite good hiring someone like cameraman Chris, because he's a good egg, and he does often tell me when to stop when I can't see when I should stop. The next question is really cool because it's been asked many times, and it is, how often do you peek into boxes before opening them on camera? Cheeky sneak peek. So no, the first time that I see what is in a mystery box is in front of you guys. You are literally witnessing me opening them and experiencing the items for the very first time within the videos that you watch. And I do it that way because I want my authentic reaction and, yeah, my authentic thoughts as I'm opening them. I think it would be really forced and fake to open it and enjoy the box first and then show you guys. Yeah, no, so I never have a look, but sometimes I do show Chris, but most of the time I don't. You guys see me opening the seals with my little opening knife. They're usually fully sellotaped and that kind of thing. So no, I unbox them first with you guys. Which subscription boxes do you buy and which are gifts? gifts, which we'll definitely get onto later. So when I first started doing subscription boxes and mystery boxes, I bought all of them or most of them myself. But as my channel has progressed and it has grown to the size that it is now, most of them are sent to me. And we'll get onto sent products and gifting and PR gifts later on, and that's going to be really important to talk about. Does cameraman Chris have another job other than editing and filming your videos? Love you so much. Love you too. So this is a great question actually, and it is something that I have been asked a few times. So to answer this, so Chris does work for me, but he also does IT consulting on the side. So he's freelance, but for the most part, he works for me full time.
God help me.
I wonder how money matters in your life. Don't you ask yourself, can I afford that? Yes, I absolutely do ask myself, can I afford that? And I'll tell you why. Because when you become a company, which I am, money isn't mine. All the money that my YouTube makes, my merch makes, brand deals make, it's not just then flown into my personal bank account. That's not how it works. So I'm not like rolling in a bathtub of dollar bills being like, yes, as much as I wish that was true. So it's the company's money. Do I own that company? Yes, I do. Does it mean that I can just dip into it and spend it on whatever I like? Absolutely not. So I basically pay myself wages. That's what I get. I basically pay myself like a normal job. So yeah, I definitely ask myself, can I afford that? Because I'm not just rolling around like dollar bills. But on a serious note though, I've never had to think about money more in my entire life than I do now. Like I have to think, like if I'm purchasing something, I have to think, well, is that a business purchase? Can I justify it? Is that going to affect how much I can pay my contractors and tax? And there's so many like variables that my brain has to think about, and that's why I have an accountant. Because it gets really overwhelming. How did you start working with the studio tour? And this is a great question because I do have a good relationship with the Warner Brothers studio tour in London. Now, it's not going to be an answer that's like, oh, I just sent them an email or I rang their doorbell and asked if I could work with them. It hasn't been like that. So I guess began years ago. I got invited to some of their events, but for the most part, it's a business relationship that I have nurtured over years and years. And I guess the important part to that answer is, yeah, you can't just send a quick DM and expect a really close working relationship with anyone or a company. You've got to put time, effort, and love and nurture those relationships when it comes to business. How do you plan your week? This is a great question as I'm a big fan of organization. So once a week, or sometimes even more than that, but at least once a week, myself and cameraman Chris get together and get our laptops, have a bit of a laptop club, and we manage our time and we plan what is happening the week ahead. What are we going to shoot? What are we going to edit? When are we uploading? What meetings do we have this week? I use some software as well. I use Trello for project management. Google Calendars is your friend when you run a business or you're self-employed. You do not want to forget meetings or that kind of thing. You want to know what you're doing, when you're doing, and where you're doing it. So it's really, really important. And I'm a big, big fan of Google Calendars because you can invite members and that kind of thing. Just love to be organized because if I'm not, I turn into like a stress monster and nobody wants that. I've never actually been asked this before, but it's how do you keep your channel PG? So if you don't know what PG is, it is parental guidance. So how do I keep my channel family friendly? Honest answer, like brutal honesty with a lot of difficulty. I swear like a sailor in my life when I'm off camera, but I do try to not bring that into my videos if I can kind of make that possible. Words. There are people of all ages that watch this channel, and I have to keep in mind that there are younger fellow wizards and witches, even like 6-year-olds, 12-year-olds, and I don't think that parents would be too pleased for their children to be watching channels with a lot of curse words, swearing, and that kind of thing. So I kind of just cut it out as much as possible. Yeah.
Doesn't always work though.
Doesn't always work though, but I try. How did you get into the Warner Brothers shop with nobody inside? That's right, if you guys saw the video where I did a full shop tour at the Warner Brothers studio tour in London, it was fully empty, it wasn't open, and it was just me. I had the entire store to myself, which was really cool. I fangirled. How did this happen? I guess this comes back to one of my previous questions, which I answered, and that is I have been nurturing a relationship with them as a company for years, and I've built that trust with them, and I work with them here and then. And honestly, they're an absolute dream to work with, and they are so supportive. And anytime I have an idea, a lot of the time, they're really up for it and they get excited about it. So we get to work together, which is really, really cool. So that is how I got into the shop, and hopefully I'll do some more of that in the future because it was very cool. Is it hard to get sponsors and sponsorships, brand deals, hashtag ads? A good question. So honestly, it varies. It depends on your channel size and that kind of thing, and your views and what management you've got, which I'll talk about later on because there is a question about that. But so I have had different experiences with sponsors. I've been getting them myself in the past, trying to get them by myself when I've got no representation, no agency behind me, no management or anything. And yeah, it can be hard. It can kind of go in waves. Sometimes you'll get sponsors that come to you, and then sometimes you'll have months where you don't see any sponsors at all, and it can feel a little bit disheartening, I guess. But as for it being hard, something that makes getting sponsorships easier is management, because it is their job to source these for creators, influencers, or whoever. So yeah, if I could answer that now though, I don't really go out looking for them now because I have management, amazing management, and I will talk all about management soon because it's something that'll be fun to talk about, I guess, something I've never spoke about before. How many videos do you typically film in a week? Okay, so this is a good question because this kind of brings me on to an update that I want to talk to you about. So last year, on an average month, I would film and upload 3 videos a week. So that's about 12 a month. It was a lot. And things are changing this year, and I'll tell you why. So last year, I, myself, and cameraman Chris very nearly burnt out, which is no bueno. Neither of us want to burn out, and it made things difficult. It made things feel really tiresome. And it took some of the magic away, in my opinion. So typically I was filming 12 a month, 3 a week, but things are changing this year. Am I stopping uploading regularly? Absolutely not. I'm going to be uploading 1 to 2 videos a week. We're just dialing it back a bit, sometimes maybe even 1 if it's a really cool video that we've invested our time in and we know you guys are going to absolutely love it. Like, this will give us a chance to film stuff that we wouldn't have been able to film last year due to time constraints. So I've got some really cool projects planned this year, some that are on location. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are excited too, because just want to mix it up a little bit. I don't just want to make everything in this studio. I don't just want to do unboxing videos. Don't get me wrong, the unboxings are still staying, but I want to mix it up a little bit, and I want to do some other things that might even be even more magical and you're really going to enjoy. So there's a little channel update with that. But yeah, so on average it was 3 a week, but things aren't going to stick to that this year. So keep your eyes peeled for some fun things. And on the topic of unboxings, whilst I'm here, I do want to try and reduce the amount that I've been doing to focus on the best and the ones that you really want to watch, because I can't do all of them. There's a lot, and I don't want this channel just to be unboxings. So I'm going to try to curate the best of the best to show you guys, and hopefully you will enjoy them a lot more. And on that note, I would like to know what boxes you would like to see and stay on this channel. Let me know in a comment down below, and I'll be sure to read all of those. Let's move on. Are you collecting all of the stuffs that you get in your boxes? A good question. So obviously I have received many magical boxes over the years, and obviously every single item I've had out of those boxes doesn't end up on my shelves. It's not all on here. Why, I hear you ask? personal preference. I don't love everything that I get in a box. So I definitely don't keep it because I don't want to become a hoarder. If I did keep everything that I receive, I think I'd be able to fill an entire room with all of the things, and it's just not feasible if I'm being brutally honest. So what do I do with the stuff that I don't keep in the boxes? Now, I know a lot of people say do giveaways. So sometimes I do actually give things away quietly behind the scenes. I'll slip into people's DMs saying, do you want this? But a lot of the time I'll give it to my friends and family if they're interested in these kind of things, because I have a lot of magical friends. But also I will give things to my favorite charities because I feel as though that's a way for me to do my bit and help them earn money by selling magical things that I don't have a home for. So there's many avenues where these things end up if they don't end up on my shelf or in my house, because it's just not possible to keep everything. But yeah, so that is hopefully answered that. I don't collect absolutely everything. I don't hoard things. I keep the things I want and I find homes or donate the other items. Does your team get a cut from every video, and what % of the money do you keep? Whew, this is a complex question, let me tell you. So basically, my management, which we'll get onto more in a bit, they get a cut of the brand deals that they get me themselves. So all of the opportunities that they personally source for me. Sometimes they'll get a cut of things that I source, but I want them to take over some of the workload. I also have people to pay, like cameraman Chris, and I have tax bills to pay, I have VAT bills to pay, I have many things to pay before it comes to me or the business, because I've already said it doesn't come into my personal bank account, it goes to my business before it comes to me. It's a lot. Like sometimes it still confuses me. There's a lot of chunks that go to different people, and then, oh, see, I'm already confused. So I feel like I'm not going to be making sense to you. Finances 101 with Cherry Wallis. Welcome. What editing program do you use when you edit your videos, or if someone else edits for you? So cameraman Chris does the majority of the editing for this channel. Claps to Chris. Claps, claps, claps. But we use DaVinci Resolve, which is actually an editing software that I'm currently having to learn, because I didn't learn to edit on that software. I learned on something else, but I'm learning new skills, learning to color grade and all that kind of thing. And I've recently got new kit and cameras that edit completely differently from my old cameras, which was like a Canon 600D, and then we used a Panasonic something. I'm not technical, okay? But I'm having to learn new things because I got new cameras, and we'll talk about those soon as well, because I know that there's questions about the kit. What's the most number of videos that you have filmed in one day? The most videos that I have filmed in one day, I believe, is 3, and they've usually been unboxing. So I'll have like a stack of boxes and I want to get through the boxes. Sometimes I'll change outfits so it looks like it's been filmed on another day. I'm just telling you all my secrets right now. But yeah, sometimes I will film boxes on the same day, sometimes I won't, depends when they arrive or how many I have received. How many hours do you work in a week? Too many. No, honestly, being self-employed, I can work, but I'm working on that. On average though, I would probably say it can vary between 45 hours a week and 60. I am a workaholic and I don't know when to stop, but the first step in fixing yourself is admitting you have a problem. Yes, I'm a workaholic, so I work a lot, many days a week, many hours, sometimes into the night. I need more sleep. Do you have a financial advisor? I'd love to be self-employed, but that part is scary. That part is scary. When I started this business and my job and earning money and stuff, like, I have never been taught to run a business. I've never been taught to be self-employed. And honestly, the thought of it was terrifying. Sometimes still is. And there will always be people that can help you with this stuff that you can, you know, people's, like, accountants are there because they are experts in accounting. I am not an expert in accounting. So don't worry too much about this stuff, but also you can learn this stuff on the wonderful World Wide Web. There's always people, and it's always good to ask friends, family, and you'll find people that know things that you don't. and it's all about learning along the way. Yeah, I think that's the big part of it. Learning along the way, trial and error, learn, ask, ask, ask. Don't be afraid to ask for help. How do you start partnerships with the subscription box companies that do sponsor you? Who approaches who first? Do you spend a lot of time in meetings? And is there such things as a typical day for you? There's a lot of questions there, but I'm going to focus on how do you start partnerships with subscription box companies that sponsor you. So it completely varies from company to company. Sometimes they will reach out to me because they want me to show their products in front of a magical audience, such as you guys, and we will talk. I will make sure that the product in question is suitable for the channel or a high quality. Like, there is a vetting process. So sometimes they'll come to me, but other times if I find something that I see and I'm just like, whoa, my audience would love that, they would love to see that, sometimes I will reach out to them. But regarding sponsors, I don't really deal with that side of things. Like, I can have the initial conversations with, do you want to work with me? Or, oh yes, I would like to work with you, thank you for asking. But then it gets sent off to my manager to deal with that kind of thing. Do you ever think of setting up another channel to do non-Harry Potter related things? Example, makeup tutorials, cooking shows, day in the life. Honestly, no. I mean, I have built second channels in the past, but they've kind of dwindled because I don't have time for them. It's too much work. If I'm being honest, like, one channel's enough, and I pour my heart and soul into this channel as it is. So I do already have stuff like cooking things on here, and when I do vlogs, it's on here as well. But no, I am a firm believer of, if you're subscribing to somebody, you're subscribing to them. So no, I feel as though I can upload anything I want here, and it's something that I do want to focus a little bit more on, like a little bit more diversity, if you like, but it's still going to be magical AF. Hello, Miss Wallis. Oh, I feel like a teacher. I want to ask, how do you make approval with various companies you want to work with? Like, oh, yes, I'll take that, or, oh, I'll review it first, or nope. Do you decide yourself, or do you ask someone else's opinion? So I feel as though I've answered this a little bit already. So when something is proposed to me to show you guys, I will always look at it first. I will always look at it. I will never just put something on the channel because it's been sent to me. I will never just put something on the channel because it's been paid. Like, I get lingerie companies reach out to me saying, your audience would love this. It's like, no, they wouldn't. Or like, what was one that I got sent years ago? It was like, oh, do you want to review this like toolbox kit? And it's like, but I'm not a construction channel. So yeah, it's all of these different decisions, and they'll always be based on a case-by-case basis. But it's kind of easy to say yes or no to things. I've just got to think, what would you guys like to see? Do I think it's appropriate or not? So lots of these little questions come into play when it comes to approving or accepting products / proposals. Okay. Hi Cherry, I was wondering, do you write off your purchases of Harry Potter merchandise as business expenses, since you usually show them on your channel, or are they just out-of-pocket costs? It depends if I'm purchasing it for myself or for the business. So if it's something that I want and I'm going to display it in my bedroom, I'm not going to show you, I just want it because it's cool, then no, that's not a business expense at all. That comes straight out of my pocket. But if it is something that I buy specifically for this channel to show you guys that I wouldn't have otherwise purchased, then yes, it becomes a business expense. And because of this channel and the theme of it and how it runs, I guess, like showing you guys new products, I do end up buying a lot of magical items. That's just a fact. But had I have not had this as a career and this wasn't my job and I didn't have to make videos, there is no way that I would have this much stuff. So those purchases that I buy specifically for the channel, for these videos, then yes, they are classed as business expenses. How did you know that YouTube was the career path you wanted to go? Did you have another job before YouTube? So before YouTube, I had like little jobs. So like working in a convenience store, working in a bar, working in a club, that kind of thing. But I started YouTube on the final year of my university course, my degree. My last year of my degree, I started YouTube as a hobby. So that's when it started, was it a plan to make it a career? Absolutely not. I don't even think being a YouTuber or influencer was a career option back then. It didn't exist. This is very new. It's new media, if you like. So yeah, I don't think I ever had a pivotal point that I knew that it was going to be a career. I think I just rolled with it, winged it, if you like. What is the most tedious part of making videos? The idea process, editing, something else? Honestly, probably getting ready before filming. It takes up a lot of time. I wish I could just roll out of bed and not touch my face or makeup and just be like, hi guys, I just woke up like 5 minutes ago. Let's roll. And I know some of you will be like, yeah, but Cherry, you can do that. Just don't bother with your hair and makeup. Oh, I can't. I like looking nice for you guys. It is definitely a choice, but it's also, it feels like a chore at the same time. But yeah, it takes a lot of time. I can be getting ready from like maybe 1 to 2 hours before I film. And I wish that I could just cut that part out. The rest of it, I don't really find a chore. I enjoy filming. Chris probably finds editing a chore, but you get paid. You get paid for it, so shut up. Yeah, so short answer, getting ready for filming. Do you ever feel like you just want to put down your wand and quit sometimes? Like, does it ever get too stressful? I was going to drop it, but I don't want to break it. It's custom. I was going to like do a wand drop. Oh. Are you okay? Yes. So does it ever get too stressful? Yes, it definitely can. Last year was probably the most stressed I've ever been in almost 30 years of my life. Oh my God, I'm having a midlife crisis. 30 soon. Yeah, it can get stressful, and that is part of the reason why I'm making some changes this year, because I don't want it to get to that extreme again. So yeah, it can totally be stressful, especially when you're like the boss. You're the one calling the shots. You're the one in charge of everything, your time management, your finances, you know, who you employ, and all this stuff, all the ideas, like they've got to come from your brain. Or if it's like merch or the designs, like my brain doesn't switch off. It's like a scrambled mess in here. Sometimes I don't know how to get that out. And I feel as though that's when it feels like the stress levels are like really high. But yeah, I'm definitely working on that. But yeah, it can get stressful. But boot newt. I've always wondered how national insurance gets taken off. Like in Scotland, that's something that automatically comes off our pay before we receive it. Is it the same or similar for YouTubers? No, so it's not something that comes off as I go along each month. It's something that my accountant sorts out, and they just come to me every year saying, you have to pay X amount of national insurance. This is the amount, pay it. And then I'm like, okay. And then I pay it. Have you ever filmed and instantly not felt the video you were doing so that you stop and film another day? Yes, I have. On a few times, actually. Sometimes I'm just not in the right headspace to film, and boy does it show. And you know, I've had Chris saying, girl, just stop. We need to stop now. Let's do this tomorrow, or go take a break. We'll come back to it. It's not working. So yes, but that is quite rare when that happens, but it definitely does happen. I've always wondered, do you pay tax on money you make on YouTube? And if so, how? Does YouTube take it off automatically, or do you have to self-tax, whatever it's called? Like when you own your own business? Absolutely, yes, I have to pay tax. It is the law. How does it work? So YouTube doesn't do the tax thing for me. I get the tax and I have to put it away into my own little tax pot / savings account and never touch it, because that is not my money, it's the tax's money. So the tax man's gonna come snatch it all. But yes, I do have to pay tax, and my accountant tells me how much I need to pay every year. You can do it yourself and figure it all out, but I'm not an accountant. I'm not smart with numbers. I'm not smart with finances, so I pay someone to do it for me. But I get told how much I owe and I pay it. Kind of the same as the national insurance thing. I just get told and I'm just like, okay. No time. No time. Sorry, I use the same voice. Do you feel pressured to make certain types of videos? I don't think so. I mean, I have a rule, like, I want to, feel pressured to answer this question. I wouldn't say pressured, no. This is my channel, so I'm in charge of what goes out and I'm in charge of what gets made for it. I don't think I've ever been pressured to make something. Like, I will listen to you guys. I will always take on board suggestions and feedback from you guys because it's important to listen to you. You're the ones that are watching it, but I wouldn't say that it's pressured. I mean, if a lot of people are saying the same thing, like the mug collection, for example, can you do a mug collection? Can you do a mug collection? I will listen. A lot of people asked me to do a mug collection and I did it. I wasn't pressured into doing it though. I did it because I wanted to please people that wanted a mug collection. I thought it was a cool idea and thought it'd be fun. What is it exactly to have a management agency? Do they advise you? Good question, and it's something I've never really spoken about. So to have management, for me, is a godsend. My manager is a hashtag lad. He's really cool. He makes my brain feel better. So what is it to have management? So they will source opportunities for you and sponsorships and partnerships with companies, but they will also deal with all of the nitty-gritty things like contracts and agreements and, you know, negotiating fees and that kind of stuff. All stuff that I don't want to do and maybe don't have the time to do. So they do all the kind of businessy bits to working with companies, I guess, or, well, no, I think that does answer it. They do all the bits and bobs, the boring bits, the business bits. They do the business bits. I'm really good at talking business. This is why I have my own company. Do you ever run out of ideas or feel like you just have to stick to, say, Harry Potter content? And did you find it hard in the beginning? I guess you have to buy things for videos, and when you don't have much of an income, that must be hard. I'm going to answer this in two parts. So, do I ever run out of ideas? I wouldn't say run out. Anytime I get an idea, I will throw it into my organizing list software, Trello. I've got a whole list of ideas. Anytime something floats into my brain, I'm just like, oh, that makes a good idea. Put it on the list and it will grow and grow and grow and grow over time. So there's always ideas that I want to do. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to film certain videos, certain weeks. So I'll be like, oh, what should I film this week? But I'll just have a little bit of a brainstorm. I definitely found this harder when I was filming videos that I didn't really think were very me or my niche. So back in the day, I did comedy sketches. I know, comedian, very funny. I found that really hard because I'm not naturally a comedian. So I was like, I've got to make like this funny. How can I make a funny video? What topic should I make it about? I found that hard. I found that very stressful. Some weeks I'd cry like, oh, I don't have a video for this week. I don't have a comedy sketch, but just because it wasn't me. Now that I found my niche, I find video ideas just kind of flow a lot easier from the brain. The other part of that was, did you find it hard in the beginning to buy things for videos? In the beginning of my channel, I didn't really purchase things for videos because, as you say, income was low. And I think when you're starting a channel, you don't have the budgets to keep buying stuff. But on that note, there is always videos that you can do that are free to make, if that makes sense. I think it made sense. Yes. Do you have any kind of script or do you just let your words flow? A good question. So most of the time I wing videos. This is just words coming out of my mouth. This isn't scripted at all. I need to burp. Ooh, she's sexy. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's cherry. Right. Sorry, I'm such a trashy hoe. Oh God, I've got bubbles. So for the most part, no, I say what comes to mind and none of my videos are scripted. However, there are times where I do need to script sections of my videos and they're usually the sponsored parts and they need to be scripted because I have to send them off for approval before I film. And that's when I use a prompter so that I can just do it really quick without forgetting the script, if that makes sense. But 99.9% of the time, nothing is scripted on my channel.
Good.
Did you hear my tummy then? It was going. I need to feed the tummy monster. Okay. Which camera do you use for filming and which camera do you use for vlogging? So I'm going to start with my vlogging camera because we're going to get onto equipment in a moment because I have got new equipment recently, which I'm still getting to grips with, but we're going to talk all about that. So, vlogging camera. I bought this vlogging camera about 2 years ago, and it is a Canon G7X. So when I'm out and about, I'm doing the whole vloggy thing. I've recently bought this tiny little tripod, which you can spread the legs of and put on a table. But for the most part, I bought it because it just feels really good to like hold it, and when the screen's up like that, I can be like, hi. So this is the camera that I use for vlogging. I don't vlog too much, but hey, I'm going to Florida soon. Guess who's vlogging? Me. I'm so excited. Okay. Whew. Okay then, let's talk equipment. So many of you guys messaged me about what I use to make my videos, and for this section about all of the technical things, I'm going to bring cameraman Chris in. So, come on in, Chris. We are going to answer some of the tech questions then. So one of them was, what equipment do I use and what did I use before I upgraded? So we've recently upgraded to 2 pretty big boy cameras. What I first started out with though was this. This is my Canon 600D DSLR, and this is like my first camera baby that I bought, and 6 years of videos got filmed on this, but we retired it last year because when Chris came to work with me, we used one of his cameras, which is a Panasonic GH4. Yes, and that's what we've been using up until very, very recently. We've got big cameras now. Do you want to tell them about the cameras? Because that one's like really scary looking and it's very intimidating.
So this big one here is a Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 4.6K G2.
Yes.
And this is the one we use, or will be using, in kitchens, out and about, and all that kind of stuff.
Bigger projects.
Yeah, and then do you want to show them the one that you're also using to film what you're doing right now?
Yes, so I'm actually using, obviously, a camera, what's filming right now, in front of me, which is a, what is it? It's a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Is that right? Oh, she's technical. So this is the camera that I have recently upgraded to. It's a learning curve. I'm having to learn everything from scratch because all cameras are different. So I'm having to go through a bit of training with cameraman Chris. Hello. So yes, that's what we've upgraded to. So let's move on to some other kit questions. Someone said, are there video filters for Premiere or editing software that can make me look a little bit better? Like filters on Instagram. And I think you'll agree here that it's no. You may see this giant light above me. I mean, you can't, but he can. This light above me, which is like, it's like angels are glowing on me or something. This light is huge. It's absolutely massive. It fills up half of the studio. It's really, really big. What is this light, Chris? I do not know what it's called.
It's an Aputure 120D2 with the, oh good grief, what is it called? The light dome too?
Something. It's a
I'm
dome.
actually going to have a look.
It's a dome of some sort.
It's the light dome too.
The light of dreams. Yeah, so lighting. I cannot stress that enough when it comes to videos. A filter's not going to make your lighting better. Color grading, if you could learn to do that, even just the basics, that will help you. I'm still learning, especially now that we've upgraded to these beefy cameras. So someone said, what do you use to view your camera display whilst you film? Is it a separate piece? And this is also quite new. I was saying about a prompter because I'm really bad at scripting videos for like the spawn sections. This is what I use, which cameraman Chris is currently filming. This is a monitor here, and it's like mirrored so that I can see what I'm doing. So what I can see here in the screen, that's actually the lens behind it. So right now it might look like I'm staring into your soul right now whilst you're watching this, but I'm actually looking directly into the lens, but I'm also looking at myself as a mirror. Kind of cool, huh? So before I used to have, like, on this camera, for example, I used to have this little screen that popped out, and when I filmed, that's the only way that I could see what I was filming was on this little screen. And with this one, it has a flip out thingamadoodle, but it just wasn't big enough for in here. So we ended up using an external monitor. Like early last year, we had a monitor underneath, but you'd see me, if you go back to some of my older videos, you might catch me like looking down a little bit, which is really off-putting when you're watching a video. It's like, can you just look at the camera? So this is why we use this now, which is a prompter. We don't use it in the traditional sense that prompting is used for. I use it as a screen. But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question of all the kit. Someone also asked me somewhere what microphone I use. This microphone, this is a RØDE
NTG4.
NTG4, yes, I knew that. So that's the microphone that we use. We also have a little light behind me to light up the shelves, which is down here, which you guys won't have ever seen before. But that's pretty much all the kit that we use. And obviously there's a tripod down there, which is to look after the camera that Chris is currently holding. Oh, and I have an iPad here, which means that I can autofocus from this. This will talk to the camera in front of me, and I can stop and start recording, so I don't need Chris to do that now. I've kind of gained a little bit more independence back now that we've upgraded to this, because I have this, and this is really cool. You can change all the white balance, all the tint. There's like loads of cool things, all the f-stops and the frame rate. I don't touch those because I don't really know what I'm doing. So I think that is everything that I use equipment-wise. I will maybe leave a list for everything in the description if you want to check it out. It's not the cheapest equipment. I've been doing this for 7 to 8 years. It has taken me this long to get all of this equipment. And if you're just starting out, you do not need this much stuff or expensive things. You just use like a vlogging camera, use one of these, use your phone, use a webcam, use whatever you've got, because I started this channel using a webcam with no lighting, no microphones, no nothing, just a webcam on my computer with the little inbuilt mic. That's how I started, so don't be overwhelmed that this is how I do it now. So yeah, cameraman Chris, you may go away now. Go in your corner, sit down like a good little cameraman. Okay then. Okay then, perhaps the question that a lot of you have been waiting for, a question that I've been wanting to talk about for a very long time, and that is, how do you get your free stuff? Oh my god, so many of you guys asked so many questions about how I get free products. Okay, where to start? The simple answer to that is they're not free. What? They're not free? These are sent to me as payment. That's right. So free products, PR, hashtag gifted, they're not presents. A present is when your nan comes round with a little gift box and a bow. It's not that. It's not a present. It is a business transaction. Companies will send these products for review and to show audiences because they get a lot out of it. So a lot of the time when I get sent free product, I don't get paid to show you guys, and they're wanting me to show you because there are so many of you. I have an audience of over 500,000 eyeballs. That is super, super valuable to any company. Like, they're gonna wanna showcase their things to you because they're gonna get more sales out of it. But I sometimes get a free item in return to showing you, but it's not free. It is never free. That is my payment. And honestly, just gonna put it out there, free items or just items from companies, they don't pay bills. Yes, they're nice, but they don't pay bills, and it's part of my job. It's as simple as that. It's part of my job. So I do see a lot of people saying, well, why can't I get free stuff to people that don't have audiences? And that's why. It's as simple as that. You don't have an audience, therefore giving something to you isn't valuable to these companies. So for example, if let's say cameraman Chris starts a company of cameras, I show a camera and it's really cool and I want to show it to you because I'm a camera channel. I show that to you, to 500,000 people. Let's say 1,000 people buy that camera. Chris is gonna get a lot of sales and a lot of money. So he's getting a lot out of this, but I'm just getting a camera. So I think that's a good way of explaining that these aren't free. It's a payment to me. One that I can't pay my bills with, but something that I enjoy talking about on this channel. Not cameras, magical things in my case, but they're not free. It's not a present. And I think that's really important because I know that recently some people have got a little bit bent out of shape that I've been getting free things. Like, why is she getting free things? Why don't they send me a free things? I collect Harry Potter stuff. And honestly, it just comes down to not understanding that this is a business. This is my job. Like, these items and free products, they are a payment for my time to be talking about them, if you like. And that is exactly what the Advertising Standards Agency says it is. That's how it is. Like, products are payments. So yeah, they're not presents, and that's the big kind of tagline of this segment. Free products are not free. They are business transactions / payments for my time for the job that I am in. And yeah, I feel as though not many people talk about this. I've not seen many other influencers talk about this. They're like, oh, look at this thing that I've got for free. It's nice getting sent items. I'm not denying that. Like, a lot of the stuff on the shelves behind me, even though I've bought a lot of it as well has been sent to me from companies because they want me to show you guys. And you know, I get to fill my shelves with many magical things. Isn't that great? Like, some of the things on this shelf have been there for years, and that is an incredibly long advert for the company's items that are on here. So yeah, I've just not really heard people talk about this that much, and I felt like it was time that I told you guys how it worked. If you do have any more questions about it, please do leave it down below. But I guess recently I've seen a lot of entitled comments saying, well, stop sending her stuff, like she's got enough of it, and why aren't I getting it? And it's just upsetting, honestly, because this is my job. It's what I do. It's a business transaction. It's not a present. I don't know, I guess it's just a little bit confusing sometimes because I see like big tech channels, which I sometimes dip into, like they get sent things like, I don't know, a brand new Pixel 4 or something to review, and it's accepted that these companies have sent them to them for free to review. But when it comes to Harry Potter merchandise, people can get a little bit bent out of shape about it because I'm getting gifts. But yeah, I just wanted to explain that they're not gifts. They are definitely a business transaction, to put it quite brutally honest and as black and white as I can. And you'll notice that a lot of the time on this channel I will avoid the word gifted, because it's not a gift in like a little box and a ribbon. I always try to be as honest as possible with you guys, and I say, this product has been sent to me for free by XYZ to review for you guys. I am as honest as I possibly can be. So I really do hope that that explains the whole, how do I get gifted products? Why do you get stuff sent for free? And that kind of thing, because just don't hear enough people talking about it, and I think they should, because it makes it unrealistic when people with no audiences or with small audiences expect to be showered with gifts and presents, because that's not how it is. But just to finish that question, I will always be honest with you guys when I get sent stuff for free and to review for you guys. Like, I will always tell you when I've been sent something to review and when I haven't purchased something with my own money, and I will continue to do so. And hopefully that is like builds a massive trust between us. But on that note, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give it a magical thumbs up. And also, if you have any other questions on this topic, don't be shy, leave a comment down below and I will answer some of those down there. Maybe cameraman Chris will chirp up and answer some too if they're about technology, who knows. But yeah, I hope you like this video. Would you like to see more of this kind of thing in the future? Are you interested in the more business side? I've really enjoyed talking about it because I don't get to discuss it very much, but I'd love to know your thoughts down below. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I guess I will see you very soon. Okay, bye.